I'm going to fly the drone over now. I'm going to just take off.
No, you're not.
Absolutely.
You're not allowed. There's overhead lines, power lines. It's against the law. You do that, we'll phone the police and you'll be arrested.
Oh, don't phone police. Come on, that'd be silly, wouldn't it? I will be quick, I promise. I'll fly over and you'll just see it go across a few times and I won't be long, yeah? See my drone licence?
Yeah.
You don't need to...
Flying it over our facility, I need to see your licence.
You don't need to see my licence. Why would you need to see my licence?
Property, and we've got intellectual property on that facility.
I'm about to take it over now.
You're not taking it over.
I'm definitely...
Phone the police.
Don't phone police. Come on, that's silly, isn't it? Just for a bit of drone footage.
Yeah.
Come on, don't be silly. Come on. Got two of them now.
Stop filming as well.
But, come on, don't be like that. Come on.
You've been asked politely 3 times.
You're at 999 in that, are you? Oh, you're kidding? Ring 101, that'll take ages, 101, won't it? But so I'm going to take it off soon, but don't be like that, come on.
Calling 999 for something that isn't urgent is a waste of police resources and pulls officers away from real emergencies. The fact that security jumped straight to involving the police shows just how little they understand the law. Instead of handling the situation reasonably, they escalated it, hoping officers would back them up. This points to a bigger problem. Call handlers and businesses alike need better education on public photography laws. Far too often, police are dispatched over completely lawful activities simply because someone doesn't like it. And in this case, when the officers arrived, one of them completely embarrassed himself, exposing a shocking lack of knowledge about photography laws and public filming.
Okay, do you want to tell me then what you've been doing?
I'm not going to tell you anything that I don't need to tell you.
Right, okay.
You've just come here and just accosted me for nothing.
Right.
We've got guys out there shouting through, he needs to delete that footage.
Yes.
I need to delete my footage.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
There are basically 3 rules with filming, very similar to the use of CCTV. Yeah?
Here we go, come on. Come on, cop explain.
If you're filming yourself, you can do what you like.
Ooh, yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, you're filming me, you can do what you like, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
More than welcome to. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're filming a private space, so if you are filming, well, initially if you're filming a public space, you can do, but you need to be willing to show that footage to whoever asks. You also need to comply with the Data Protection Act, which means that you need to be willing to delete that footage should they ask you to.
The officer wrongly claimed that anyone filming in a public space must show their footage to whoever asks, and even delete it on request under the Data Protection Act. That is completely false and shows a shocking lack of legal knowledge. The Data Protection Act 2018 applies to organizations and businesses processing personal data, not to private individuals filming for personal use. As a private citizen, the auditor had zero legal obligation to show or delete his footage, and there is no law requiring anyone to hand over recordings simply because they were taken in public.
Yes?
No, yeah, you've got that all wrong, honestly.
No, I haven't.
Of course you have.
No, I haven't, because
it was covered by data protection, right? Can I just explain that? I'll tell you that. I'll let you on.
Yeah,
I'll let you know then. Yeah.
Go on then.
Data protection only applies to businesses. It doesn't apply to individuals. There you go. Look, that's your first mistake. Yeah.
It does apply to individuals. And if you're saying it only applies to businesses, that's a business, and they've asked you to delete it.
No, I'm not a business so I don't have to delete it.
Right, you do.
You're talking rubbish on camera.
Asked you to.
You're talking rubbish on camera.
Because otherwise, no, I'm not talking rubbish, because otherwise, what you're doing is surveillance. Have you got a ripper? Have you applied for a ripper? Do you know what a ripper is?
A what, sorry?
A ripper.
What's a ripper?
A ripper?
No.
A ripper is the paperwork to allow you to do surveillance, which is what you're doing with that.
The Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act 2000, better known as RIPA, applies to covert surveillance by public bodies such as police, intelligence agencies, and local councils. It's designed to authorize undercover operations, monitor communications, and conduct surveillance for criminal investigations. It has nothing to do with a private individual filming openly in public. Whether you're a journalist, a tourist, or a YouTuber, you do not need RIPA authorization to record from a public space. If that were the case, every holiday snap or street vlog would be a criminal offense. This officer wasn't just wrong. He was throwing around laws that don't even apply. clearly hoping to intimidate the auditor into backing down.
I'm not doing surveillance, that's silly. I'm doing aerial photography.
Yeah, which is surveillance. Surveillance.
Can you identify yourself, please? Because you just walked up to me.
And
yourself, lady. Thank you very much.
Okay. So what you are doing is surveillance. You've just said you're taking photographs. Yeah?
I haven't said that. I've not confirmed anything.
Right, that's a form of surveillance. You're telling me that you're filming, that you've filmed over there. That is a company. They've asked you to delete the footage of what you're filming there, of what you filmed there.
I won't be deleting.
Are you refusing to do so?
Well, obviously, there's nobody. I'll tell you what. I'll let you know then. I'll let you know the law. That yeah.
Right.
Under UK law, there's no obligation for a private individual to delete footage simply because someone asks. The only lawful way to force deletion is through a court order or a legal warrant. Police cannot demand deletion unless the footage is seized as part of a genuine criminal investigation under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984 PACE. And even then, it must be justified by an actual offense, which clearly isn't the case here. Any attempt to force deletion outside proper legal channels could amount to unlawful interference with evidence, or even a misuse of police powers.
Right.
There you go. So you can't delete it, you can't ask me to. Right. Well, you can ask me to, but I don't have to.
There is a government ombudsman that deals with footage like that.
Lovely.
Okay?
Yeah.
They can take you to court, certainly.
Yeah.
And they will prosecute you, and they will fine you. And it is hundreds of thousands of pounds. Because it's the same rules and regulations that we use for surveillance.
All I would say is, good luck trying to get £100,000 out of me. I literally haven't got £100,000.
If you don't pay that, then it's potentially a prison sentence, then, isn't it?
Ooh, prison. God, I don't want to get in prison.
Feistly, there is no such thing as a government ombudsman that prosecutes people for public photography. The UK does have regulatory bodies like the Information Commissioner's Office, but they enforce data protection laws that apply to businesses and organizations processing personal data, not private individuals filming in public. Secondly, as already explained, surveillance laws such as the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act, REPA, apply to public authorities conducting covert operations. There is no legal requirement for a private citizen to obtain authorization to film from a public space, nor does any ombudsman have the power to prosecute someone for lawfully recording a factory or any other building from a public vantage point. Lastly, the claim that the auditor could face hundreds of thousands of pounds in fines is pure fiction. Such penalties only apply when companies violate the Data Protection Act by mishandling personal data, something entirely irrelevant to a member of the public filming in an open space. This officer is either catastrophically uninformed or deliberately trying to intimidate the auditor with made-up consequences. Either way, it's an unacceptable abuse of authority.
Well, I'm asking you nicely, will you delete the footage that you filmed over there?
You can ask, can't you?
I can ask? Cool.
I've not confirmed or denied whether I'm going to delete the footage.
Will you delete the footage? Please.
What would you do if I don't delete the footage? I'm going back over in a minute. The drone's going back up in a minute.
Right. Okay, well, potentially we can get officers here to arrest you and take you away.
Arrest me for what? Listen,
right,
what law?
Breach of data protection.
That's that. You're under arrest for breach of data protection.
Right.
You don't have to say anything when questioned. Yeah. Under arrest for data protection. Oh my God.
This claim isn't just wrong, it's outright misleading. The Data Protection Act regulates how businesses and organizations handle personal data, not how a private individual films in public. There is no legal basis for arresting someone simply for recording from a lawful position. Even if a business were to breach data protection laws, the consequences would be civil penalties or regulatory enforcement, not criminal charges leading to arrest. And here's the kicker, the officer himself couldn't arrest anyone even if he wanted to. That's why he says he'd need to get officers down here to do it. This all but confirms he's a police community support officer, PCSO, not a full police constable. PCSOs have very limited powers and, in most cases, no power of arrest unless specifically designated by their force, which most aren't. So not only is he wrong about the law, he's threatening a power he doesn't even possess.
Can I just say, you're talking nonsense. You really are talking nonsense. When the actual police officer gets here, if I bother waiting for him, I might just get the footage now and drive off on my bike.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might just do that, but we'll see anyway. I'll tell you what, we'll wait for the officer to come and he will tell you you're talking absolute nonsense. You'll just walk off like, and that'll be it. Get in the car and go. Are you going to go now so I can finish my drone footage?
No, I'm not.
You're not going to go?
No, I'm not. No. You seem to be enjoying filming me, so.
This is crazy. So, are you going to waste police time just by standing here?
Yeah, because you're intent on doing that, so.
I'm not intent on wasting police time. I'd like you to go so I can finish my drone footage.
Well, I've asked you to delete the footage, I've asked you to show me the footage, you refused both.
The auditor asks if the officer is going to leave, but instead of walking away, he flat out refuses, openly admitting he's deliberately wasting police time. Then, he doubles down, declaring he won't leave until the footage is deleted, despite having zero legal authority to demand it. At this point, it's no longer about the law, it's about control. The officer knows full well he can't force the auditor to delete anything, yet he lingers, banking on intimidation to achieve what the law will not. Rather than acting professionally and de-escalating, he's deliberately inflating a non-issue into a needless standoff, wasting everyone's time and undermining public trust in the process.
Yeah, because I don't really want to.
Right? And you've not even explained yourself as to why you don't want to.
I just don't feel like it.
You don't feel like it?
Yeah. What did you have for breakfast this morning? Why did you have it? You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. And as I said, you don't feel like it. You're being completely obstructive. I've been completely reasonable with you. I've spoken to you politely.
Can I just explain to the situation, right, from a high level point of view, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So go on then.
I'm stood in a public place.
Yep.
This is a public place. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm filming from a public place. I'm flying my drone from a public place. I'm abiding by all the drone laws.
Right.
I'm abiding by all the filming laws.
Right.
You guys have come here telling me I'm committing an offence.
Yep.
And now you stood there and you won't leave.
Right.
And you've admitted that you're going to stand here wasting police time.
Right. Okay.
Crazy. We're in a really crazy situation here.
Okay. I've asked to see the footage. Why aren't you going to show me the footage?
I don't have to and I don't want to.
Right.
I've got more footage to get yet. You know what I mean? I've literally got, I'm running out of time to get all this droned over. I've got some other places I need to get to.
If you filmed somebody and somebody asks you to then delete it, you have to be willing to at least show them with it and explain why you're not going to delete it, and explain to someone in authority.
Under what law? That ends the conversation, doesn't it, really? Under what law? If you explain to me the laws that require me to do something, if you explain to me the law that requires me to do something, I will do it.
This is absolute nonsense with no legal basis whatsoever. There is no law in the UK requiring a private individual to show their footage to anyone, explain why they won't delete it, or seek approval from an officer. This moment perfectly exposes how some officers make up rules on the spot, leaning on authority instead of legality to pressure compliance. This isn't just ignorance, it's the active spread of misinformation, which risks fueling countless other unlawful demands in the future. Now, in the video, a police constable arrives, summoned by the very PCSO who has already thoroughly embarrassed himself with his lack of legal knowledge.
Have you flown over the factory?
I'd rather not say, but I plan to.
You plan to?
Yeah.
Right. Do you have permission to fly over there with it being private property?
What permission? This is what I've just been through with these guys. What permission do I need?
It's classed as private property there, so it's classed as trespass.
It's not classed as a trespass. If it is classed as a trespass, if I were flying low causing a nuisance, that would be a civil trespass.
It is a civil matter, you're right.
That would be a civil trespass. So I don't know why you guys would be getting involved. But if I fly it high, it's not classed as a trespass. If an helicopter flies over, you don't class it as a trespass, do you?
I don't think there's any sort of minimum horizontal distance anywhere with drones anymore. I think it's changed.
Exactly.
You probably know more than I do, to be honest.
Yeah, I reckon I probably do. So yeah.
Now that the actual police officer has taken over, he immediately makes a false claim, insisting that flying a drone over the factory amounts to trespass. Even if low-level drone flight could be argued as trespass, it would be civil trespass, not a criminal offense, meaning police have no enforcement powers. To drive the point home, the auditor gives a simple example. If a helicopter flew overhead, would that be trespassing? Of course not, because airspace is not privately owned in the same way land is. The officer's inability to grasp this basic principle shows just how unprepared and uninformed he is on UK drone laws.
That's why I'm still here, because let me just tell you this, right? I'm not stupid, right? If I were committing a crime, I would have been on my toes now on that little bike, and nobody would have caught me. But I'm not committing a crime. That's why I'm still standing here. I just want to prove to everybody that I'm,
And I don't think you have committed a crime.
Excellent.
You should be in handcuffs.
Exactly.
However, I've got to try and work with you.
Yeah, you can
so
try and work.
In terms of when you're flying a drone in public, like you're doing now, you can film anywhere. Nobody can stop you. You're entitled to film what you want.
which isn't an issue. However, once you cross over the border into sort of where factories are, it's classed as private property, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's no.
How would you feel if somebody encroached into your private home and started filming you?
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's residential. So if
Well, it is, but it's still private.
If you fly over somebody's residential house and you're like looking in the windows or something, that's covered under privacy law.
The officer's argument completely ignores the legal distinction between residential privacy laws and public airspace regulations. Rather than acknowledging these differences, he appeals to emotion over fact. The auditor, however, knows the law and isn't buying it. This distinction is clear under Article 8 of the Human Rights Act 1998, which protects the right to private and family life, specifically ensuring that individuals inside their homes have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Filming directly into someone's private residence could indeed amount to harassment or a privacy violation, especially if it intrudes on their personal space. However, this protection does not extend to businesses or industrial sites, which do not enjoy the same level of legal shielding.
If you're flying over like a business or something like that, just getting some aerial footage and whatnot, there's no.
You're supposed to seek authority from them first, really. It's their private property.
But that's an opinion. That's not a fact.
It's
you know.
not.
Yeah,
It's a fact. It's private property.
No, because I tell you what, then.
It is a civil matter and it is trespass.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, as soon as you've been so nice to me when you come over, you kept your distance or whatever, I'll let you know, because I'd know a bit more about you than the drone laws, yeah? Basically, I can fly over there with this sub-250 drone, I can fly over the private property, and that's because they do not control the airspace or own the airspace. The Civil Aviation Authority controls and owns the airspace, and there are no, I checked before I launched, there are no controls in place over this airspace here.
The Civil Aviation Authority, CAA, is the body responsible for regulating UK airspace and setting flight restrictions for drones. Areas where drones are prohibited include flight restriction zones near airports, sensitive government sites, and other locations with special airspace restrictions for safety or security reasons. Outside of these zones, drone operators can fly legally provided they comply with CAA regulations, such as maintaining visual line of sight and avoiding dangerously low flights over people. This exchange perfectly highlights a recurring problem: police officers enforcing laws they don't actually understand. Instead of checking the legal framework, the officer wrongly assumed the company had authority over the airspace, when in reality, they have none.
Right.
So, for instance, prisons and airports, there are controls in place.
You're right.
Yeah. So you can't fly over them because the Civil Aviation Authority says you can't, and it's actually a crime to do that. Whereas the airspace over this facility here is not owned by this facility. They can't tell me whether or not I can fly something over or not. It's literally owned and controlled by the Civil Aviation Authority, and there's no controls in place.
Have you finished for today?
Nearly. I have got a little bit more. When these two arrived, I had to stop filming because I just wanted to have a quick chat with them just to make sure they weren't going to jump me out.
They don't really do that.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I just thought I'd just.
Well, we're not those type of people.
Yeah, good. That's really good.
We've got a job to do. If somebody raises concerns, we've got to come and speak to and get to.
Absolutely, yeah. What you'd be best off doing, just nipping in and just telling them what he's doing is completely legal. That would be your job today. You'd literally just go in and just say, look, I know you might not like it, but what he's doing is completely legal. We haven't got any jurisdiction. The guy's not committed a crime, so we don't have any power over him.
The auditor makes a valid point. If officers truly wanted to prevent unnecessary call-outs, the most effective approach would be to educate the business. A simple explanation that public filming and lawful drone use are not police matters would clear up the misunderstanding immediately. Instead, too many officers choose to engage in needless debates with lawful auditors, reinforcing the false belief that something illegal is happening. By failing to correct these misconceptions, police set themselves up for repeat incidents, sending officers to deal with lawful activity instead of real crimes. This isn't just a waste of resources. It perpetuates public confusion that could easily be avoided with just a few minutes of clear education.
Basically, I know, yeah.
I say I've not got an issue with you. You don't always give your name right, are you?
Oh no, definitely not. No, thank you. And there we go, guys. This guy knows a little bit more about policing than the PCSOs, which I'm not surprised about, really. I mean, we're only trying the best out there.
With the officer finally stepping away, another encounter ends with the police failing to correctly uphold the law. From the moment security dialed 999 over lawful activity, This was a complete waste of police resources, fueled by misinformation and a poor grasp of public photography and drone laws. The PCSO stood out for all the wrong reasons, inventing laws on the spot, falsely applying the Data Protection Act to a private citizen, and even suggesting an arrest without any legal basis. His lack of authority and understanding was glaring, proving he needs proper legal training before engaging with the public. Rather than de-escalating, he escalated, turning a non-issue into an unnecessary standoff that in reality. This entire situation could have been avoided with basic education for the business on what the law actually says. Instead, the police reinforced their misconceptions, wasting time in a pointless back and forth over something that was never a crime in the first place. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support my independent coverage. Also, check out Northern Audits, link in the description. Show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audit, and I'll see you in the next one.